Hey guys, Ace Carrick again, and we're back on this guy today. Pops and I just adjusted this door, loosened up this hinge at the bottom here, and look at this. It actually kind of closes properly now. So we have a good alignment there. Whew. I can actually open and close the door with one hand now. So these hinges actually aren't that bad. It's just, it was far enough out of alignment this way, and there's just enough play in the door that it can crank itself up, I guess. But it seems okay now. So there's still a little bit of play in these hinges. They're actually not as bad as I thought. I'll just show you all this before we tear it apart here. So you can see the alignment's pretty good. We got pretty close to 3/16 everywhere. Big ass gap down here. Pretty big gap down here, but you can see, so we still have this crown in the center there that maybe we can try and do something with, but it is what it is. But everything else lines up pretty good. So after having done that, now we're going to take the door off. Anyway, just wanted to see if we could get it lined up right before we took it apart, and it looks like it does actually line up pretty well. So off with the door. Alright, I got this pretty much done here. Just finessing a few spots left. This little bit right here was actually under the jamb here that I had to cut out. And I had a piece that was almost exactly the right size. Just had to trim it a little bit. So that goes right there. So I trimmed it to shape, punched a hole in it for a plug weld to lock that to the rocker. And go ahead and weld that guy in place. Alright, we got that part done. And while we were over here, I did this. If you remember, I flanged a new piece on here. Because the existing one was so brutalized and chewed up. So I got a few little voids to clear up here a bit. That came out pretty good. So I have to get this guy down here and go and then start working on the bottom. Alright, the welding is done. Everything's finished here. This corner here was really ugly because there's that support piece up inside the rocker, and it didn't really come down far enough, so I was having to mash this up to get it to fit, and it just was ugly. But all these plug welds came out really nice along here. Got this mostly fixed here. There's a big dent right there, but whatever. This all looks nice up through here. So it's all set for fiberglass. So I'm not going to fiberglass all this stuff in here because it's inside the car. It's not theoretically exposed to the weather, so I'm not going to worry about it. But the rocker here, and certainly this seam, I don't think those plug welds really need anything. I'll have epoxy on them, so I think they'll be fine. So basically just going to go over this edge here and this stuff over here. Alright, all done. Let's show you how everything turned out here. Everything looks pretty good. This all sealed up in here nicely. Get a flashlight. So this whole thing was reconstructed here as we were showing in the other video. So that came out pretty good. I welded up this hole here because it wasn't in the right place. I don't know how to grind that down. If anybody has a suggestion on how to grind that down. And also this hole here wasn't quite in the right place, so basically that hole's the only one that was left for the sill. I'll get the sill nice and straight, and then I'll re-drill all those holes. On the bottom here, put some fiberglass on that edge, along that bottom bit right there. Put a few select places of fiberglass where there were some craters in the plug welds. And then filled all of this in. So It's pretty good. That it's not perfect. Try and get the line of sight on this guy to try and get an idea. It's hard to see from there. Try this angle. So if you look down the rocker this way, straight down that edge, it is awfully straight. We put the straight edge here as we were showing before. So this edge here is exactly right. So lining up with the bottom of the door that way is perfect. This way is less than perfect, as you can see. So that's off a little bit. Now I was thinking about this when Pops and I had the door up there. Since the bottom of the door is malleable, I can actually tweak the outer edges of the door to line up to that edge, I think, without too much trouble. Because it's not off by very much. Let's see here. It's not even an eighth, probably. Pretty close to an eighth, a little less than an eighth. So, pull the edges of the door out a little bit. We'll straighten that up, I think that'll be okay. This is, looking at it from this angle here, this all looks pretty good. But if you come down and look down the side of the car, you can definitely see that there's a bow there. Whether or not you're going to see it and whether it's going to matter when the car is all done, I don't know. Because this is going to be down on the bottom of the car. It's going to be sitting more like this. You got to strain pretty hard to see that. So I don't think it's going to be an issue, but until the car is all put back together, we won't know. And if I have to do any work, I may have to do work back here anyway. I've been beating on this with a hammer trying to get this come back, and it's just not going anywhere. So I'm probably going to end up having to section this thing here, or cut a slice in it and get it to be where it's supposed to be. When I do that, I'll probably get a chance to, you can see how far that's sticking out right there. So there's a bunch of this part of this rocker that's just not happy. So down the road somewhere we may revisit that and try and straighten that out. But for now, we're done. So next step, oh wait, this is fun. Can't forget this. Ooh, and I forgot to scratch that one off too. So next step is this internal frame coating. So I've got to get the inside of that rocker and everything else under the bottom of the car. I'm doing this later, so I'll scratch that off. And the only thing that leaves then is the four-link brackets. This might be done. I got to check the other side of the car. Might need a little more work there. Put the four-link brackets on and it's ready to come off the rotisserie. I may have to go back and touch up the underside here because that was all finished, and putting those welds in there. Let me take a look, I guess. Let's see here. Let the car just stay there. Stay. If we take a peek here, like here, kind of chewed through the paint there in a few places, so I should probably come back here and touch that up. Yeah, that needs to be done still. So, added something to the list. Boo. So, two things actually. I have to prime the rocker too. Got to stop adding things and just keep subtracting things so I ever want to get this thing down off the rotisserie. So, anyway, it's pretty close. Just a few small things. On that inner rocker, I may just put the epoxy on that and leave it at that because it's black. You won't be able to tell the difference anyway, so I'm probably not going to bother putting any single stage on that. But we'll give the whole car a once over. Let's put that on there, I guess. Hang on. Inspect the underside of the car, make sure everything's copacetic under there before we drop it. And we're all set. All right. So, thank you, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm probably not going to get back to this until next week, so that's going to do it for me for this week, I believe. So anyway, take care, everybody. Talk to you soon.